As we jump on into this, let's introduce our players. So to the bottom right hand side, we're going to be starting with our red Zerg from Dead Pixels. It is going to be Scarlett. And to the bottom top left hand side of King Sejong Station, our blue Zerg player is going to be iAsonu. So, as we set up into the ZvZ once again, we'll probably see players just sticking to the same builds. Now, I believe the match history / build order was hidden, so players shouldn't have any idea at all as to what their opponent was doing in the last game. So, I imagine they'll both open the same way with Hatch Gas Pool, because there's nothing really, in a way, it was the best time for it to happen, because right now, yes, it's unfortunate you have to regain, but nothing is really going to change from what happened so far. The Overlords hadn't really scouted anything, or anything along those lines at all, really. So, I'm going to be setting up into this Hatch Gas Pool. We're going to be seeing gas is on the way, being taken by iAsonu. Scarlett going to take her gas a little bit later once again. She goes up to a couple more drones as we'll drop in the gas pool. It's actually very similar to the last game. She was a little bit late. Whoa, she is going to change things up herself now. Wow, okay. Well, in a way, that maybe Scarlett just kind of taking things to her advantage. She saw her opponent not kind of, so that maybe is Scarlett to kind of taking advantage of the recovery a little bit, because she says, well, actually, I didn't see you go in early pool last time. I don't think you'll change. I'm going to go free hatch before pool instead. So, she's going to change up her build order completely. Now goes gas pool behind this. And the thing is, this is one of the third bases, which you're not going to really see as a Zerg player as iAsonu for quite some time. So, iAsonu is not going to recognize this for some time here. And that could be problematic for him, as Scarlett is obviously going to have a little bit of a later queen and so on, but, well, very interesting switch up then from Scarlett to try and maybe take advantage of the situation. I mean, if it's what has to happen, if you have to regame, then players are allowed to change their builds. It's how it goes. I mean, obviously we don't have this happen very often anymore, but in a way it's kind of a smart decision from Scarlett. She says, I don't think you're going to change what you're doing, so I'm going to completely change what I'm doing. And go from there, as we're going to be seeing that third hatchery on the way up now. And we've seen drones starting to mine away here. iAsonu comes in. I'm not sure if you would have identified the lack of a queen building there for a little while as kind of maybe something to indicate that this is a free hatch before pool. He is moving in towards the third base, but that's more so just because it's a general kind of Overlord scout pattern here. And I think Scarlett's just going to get away with this. Her link speed, yes, is going to be a little bit later, but she's going to have a Baneling nest on time. And she's going to be set up with everything pretty much perfectly as she needs it. I mean, by the time iAsonu gets aggressive here, Scarlett will have Banelings out, and it'll come down to micro, and Scarlett can be a little bit more relaxed on her micro because she has her outs, which are the fact that she has an extra hatchery already, that she has extra production, and we'll be taking a couple of extra drones perhaps in the near future as well. As we start up into this first game of the series with obviously a bit of a twist, iAsonu's response is not really to be too aggressive. He just drops down his own third hatchery himself, which was probably sort of his build order to begin with anyway. So Scarlett doesn't take a huge lead from this. I mean, it's definitely an advantage, but it's not kind of completely game-ending. I mean, it shouldn't be iAsonu just falling so far behind he can't even contend and contest in the game. Nice little drone save there by Scarlett as she gets her extractor started. Saves that drone as it goes to low health. And she's very safe right now. I mean, again, she's up to 3 bases, looking good. Losing this Overlord to the right-hand side at the top, that's a little bit of a shame. She's actually making 16 lings of her own now. A couple of Banes already morphing in as well. And so she's going to start getting aggressive. Actually, iAsonu morphs into 2 Banes to the left-hand side. Scarlett is maybe even thinking of looking over there. I mean, she might have just seen them now. I think she did just see them now with her own Zergling. So her own Baneling finishes up. She's going to come in. She's not going to be able to stop the Banelings of her opponent as her Baneling goes off on... Well, nothing. iAsonu's 2 Banelings go off on... a few Zerglings there, but not the best of connections. Scarlett is going to go into some more drones now. iAsonu already dropping the Roach Roar and getting ready for a Roach switch here. Scarlett's still moving across the map, seeing if she can get something done. Going to start to take this fight over here. The Banelings aren't ready just yet. She'll run over towards the third base. Just spot that, sees no drones yet, and so can't really take advantage of it. She's got 4 Banes of her own, so again it sort of comes down to micro. And comes down to how well she can control compared to her opponent. There she goes, starting to split away from the Banelings. And just starting to get her own Banelings getting ready to come forward here. 1 Baneling for 1 ling so far. 2 Banes for 2 lings. Good trades by iAsonu there. Scarlett just has to back away. I mean, she has got a big round of drones on the way up. She's actually going to take a huge worker lead here. With 9 drones already started, she's going to go into a lot of drones. And she's got her own Roach on the way up. And so if iAsonu tries to attack with roaches, it's not going to work out too well for him. He's actually going to be supply blocked here, as he waits to make more roaches perhaps, and that's obviously not a good time to be supply blocked as soon as you want to make roaches, especially with how they're playing. Neither player starts to lair, both players seem to be playing fairly aggressively here, and so for iAsonu, not being able to build roaches right now when he wants to start being aggressive is a big shame, because now Scarlett has a lot of time where she's got time for a roach run to finish. She's got time where she's on 9 extra workers. She's going to start roaches of her own, and I really don't see a way in which iAsonu takes this roach attack and actually makes something with it. In fact, I think he might just sit back somewhat defensively with these. I mean, he might just be waiting for more roaches to come out, but I mean, both players are doing the same thing, just Scarlett is doing it off of 9 extra workers, which of course is a huge advantage. As we see these lings still chasing across the map, Scarlett's been chasing these for some time. She sees the roaches of her opponent now, immediately pulls away back towards the bottom side. As we're going to be seeing more lings popping out. There's a lair on the way from Scarlett as well, and Evo Chamber 2. She starts to tech up as this attack continues to come across the map. I'm not sure exactly why she would begin to drop a lair under the Evo Chamber now. I mean, I guess, whoa, nice Balin connections actually. I guess maybe because she says, well, actually, if I get them going now, then when I hold this, I can, you know, I'm going to be taking my lead. And she's doing it actually alright. I mean, she's already going across the map, counterattacking with lings, so she's going to get damage done of herself. She's actually got plenty of roaches up to defend with as well. And as long as this defense is clean at home, she should be fine, because again, she's going to pick off reinforcements here. And iAsonu is actually going to turn around and go back home. So this is fantastic for Scarlett. I mean, now iAsonu is going to be losing a few more roaches. He tries to get back. These lings should surround them and stop them from moving, let the roaches connect. And that's going to be useful, of course. So, a few more roaches going down here from iAsonu. He's already been behind on workers for so long, and Scarlett has now transferred that into a roach advantage. She still has a few lings towards this third base, which again have been picking off reinforcements as well, and so everything is pointing towards Scarlett taking a lead in this game. Hilaire has finished his start +1. She just needs to start roach speed now, and she will open herself a good upgrade timing window, where she's going to be having +1 and her opponent having no upgrades in the near future. That window's only going to be about 30 seconds long, but still, 30 seconds is plenty of time if you're in position to take a roach attack, to take an engagement, take a fight, take an advantage, and then just push through for your momentum you gain from that. And we're going to be seeing those lings pulling back once again. These few Zerglings from iAsonu going down the right-hand side now. Going to be looking to see what's going on. We're going to be seeing the roach run for that roach speed continue to come up. It's about halfway done. As we'll be seeing the Spy Eye dropping down from Scarlett. So she's going to go for a roach transition. Now, I had a very interesting discussion with Scarlett about making mutas while she's playing roaches. After a Do Star Masters, I think, some time ago. If we do see the mutas coming up, we'll sort of talk about that a bit more. Well, actually, I guess we can. I thought Scarlett's going to attack, but she's backing away. So what Scarlett said is she generally only makes like a very slow number of mutalisks because it forces a reaction from her opponent. And she'll generally be able to kind of force more of a reaction than what it costs her to go into kind of for the mutalisks, and so she'll also get some damage done most likely. And she just feels it's a very worthwhile investment to not overly commit into mutas, but just make a few. Force some Hydras, which are really bad as well, as she says, against Roach Ravager, and just kind of taking advantage from that. Now, we do have a Balin drop or coming in towards the main base. Scarlett, how well does she respond to this? This could be one way iAsonu gets some good damage done. She pulls away pretty quickly. 7 workers lost, but at the same time, Scarlett's also taking a fight in the middle of the map. She has roach speed against no roach speed. Her +1 now finishes. She's very ready to take this fight. These lings to the right-hand side got some damage done too, so iAsonu also loses 5 workers. Now not mining from the third base. Scarlett moving forwards here. iAsonu doesn't have +1 for another 20 seconds. As Scarlett comes forward, she's going to start taking this fight. A few Balins will come in, and that will be some nice splash damage, but lings from the right-hand side as well from Scarlett. I think she just has more than enough with a +1 upgrade as well. It's going to help her very easily start to push through these roaches, and Scarlett is going to take game number 1 here as she pushes on into the natural. Those Hydras popping out aren't going to do much. You can see her starting to go into +1 fire attack, so maybe will commit further into mutas than just the 4 or 5 I was talking about. That right there is going to be GG, and Scarlett takes game number 2 of Scarlett iAsonu here. Let's get this set up. I'll just have to take a moment to move iAsonu's name down on the overlay. And we can begin. So, to the top left-hand side of the map, we're going to be starting with the red Zerg player. It is going to be Scarlett from Dead Pixels. And to the top right-hand side is going to be our blue Zerg player from Invictus Gaming. It's iAsonu. As we set up into game number 2 of this best of 3, Scarlett has the 1-0 lead. So, to start things off, Scarlett this time opens gas pool. Now, it's not really a super aggressive gas pool, it's a defensive gas pool in the sense that it's 18 gas, 17 pool, or something along those lines, which means her hatchery still comes down very soon afterwards. So we're going to be seeing that hatchery coming down the natural, so she's not going to be too far behind. Now, it definitely is a small advantage to iAsonu. iAsonu will definitely take a little bit of a lead off this opening, but there is definitely the possibility that iAsonu has the plan in the end overall to actually head into a situation where he's sort of, you know, iAsonu might have the plan anyways, sort of set up, and, I don't want to say this, iAsonu might just be planning to sort of set up in such a way so that he is able to kind of, no, not iAsonu, Scarlett might be setting up in a way so that she's able to just be aggressive here in the near future, which could be cool. Lucy's gone, and then her hatchery finishing soon. There's her Bane nest coming down. So again, she'll have a faster Ling speed, she'll have a faster Bane nest. I'll imagine we'll see a little bit of, kind of Ling Bane out of Scarlett here, at least because her Ling speed is a bit sooner, so she might try and take advantage of that. So let's see how this goes. We're going to see now Dovelord from iAsonu just moving around over the left-hand side. A couple of Lings up the right from Scarlett as well. They're going to be having a look to see what exactly they can do in the very near future. So they're going to head up the right-hand side and look to kind of poke in towards the main base. So they're going to be look to do that. I mean, Scarlett's just been trying to find her opponent for a little while now. As we see both players up on hatcheries. Scarlett is a few workers behind. Will catch up now and take a little bit of a lead. It'll be very back and forth game in terms of worker count and so on for a while here. iAsonu does not have a Bane nest, so that's definitely something Scarlett could take advantage of if she wanted to. If she did try to get aggressive here in the near future. Although it doesn't look as though she will be doing that anytime soon, as those couple of Lings come into the right-hand side. Going to be seeing the Queens. Well, Scarlett actually going to deny a creep team, which is nice. Stops the Queens from transferring between the external bases for a little bit longer. And you're seeing those Lings coming in from iAsonu right now as well. Currently chasing down that Zergling of Scarlett. So Scarlett's Zergling being chased down here. Is it going to get caught? It keeps on running. It never ends. And the Zergling keeps on going. We're going to be seeing, there we go, finally getting caught. And it's actually going to be iAsonu who starts up a little bit of aggression here. The first Baneling doesn't finish. The second Baneling is very close. Ooh, iAsonu has to be careful. Scarlett gets her Lings out now as well. She'll be in to turn this away. iAsonu very quickly into this Roachron, and because he's got so much gas in the bank, there's going to be a big Roachling attack from iAsonu here in the very near future, as those Lings going to be looking to come up this ramp in a moment or two. And well, right now, Scarlett doesn't really see this. She sees a third hatch on the way. She isn't going to see those roaches until they're moving across the map. And this Queen especially is actually going to try and delay this from being spotted for some time as well. Scarlett does have a single spine crawler on the way up. She has started to take a little bit of a worker lead. Her own third hatchery now starting as well. And she cancels the spine crawler to build her own Roachron. Well, that's problematic, and actually if the Roachron gets cancelled here, that could be a big issue, as her Lings are completely out of position to deal with this. She's trying to fight with drones, but losing the Queen already definitely doesn't bode well for her, holding off this attack in the near future. And again, she's losing this Overlord, so she's going to lose vision on the map. Scarlett's in a very tough spot now. She needs her Roachron to finish. She needs to get units out ASAP, as iAsonu sets up into a Bane nest as well, so he's going into a big kind of Roach Bane attack. And again, I just don't think Scarlett's going to see this anywhere near as soon as she needs to. She needs to keep this lava now to make roaches, like 100%. As we're going to be seeing those roaches gathering together. She sees them now. She sees the roaches. So this might be time for Scarlett to say, okay, actually, I need roaches. I need them fast. She's going to maybe try and counterattack to buy some time. She's coming up to the north side here. She might just pull the Lings back because she needs them back at home. Also a possibility. She actually doesn't really know what to do. She's running all over the place with these Zerglings. Roach is actually not going to go across the map just yet from iAsonu. He's going to wait a little longer, maybe thinking of that counterattack threat. And he's just going to wait and maybe try and catch this here. Scarlett runs in. She's going to see the units. She's going to realize that that's not a good idea. But now she should know that actually the roaches aren't coming across the map. And so for now, she's actually going to be safe on a 2-worker lead. It's not a lot, but she's got a lot of gas to work with. And eventually, she'll get into a position where she is building more and more roaches. Oh, she's building drones. Oh, there's still so many units here, though, from iAsonu. Scarlett surely does not have enough. I mean, she's starting to build another couple of roaches now. Oh, man, there's so many roaches here, though. Banelings as well. Scarlett's definitely going to lose the third base. I don't think there's a way for her to save the third. She's going to run into her opponent's natural expansion. She's going to try and split away against that Baneling. Needs to get rid of that ASAP. Baneling actually gets a better connection than it should have, as these roaches and Lings are going to leave the third base alone, realizing what Scarlett's doing now. Realizing that she's trying to buy time. You see a few units being sent home. iAsonu's going to take some damage then. I mean, both players are going to end up taking damage as Scarlett pulls back. She tries to get in a position where she can hold on in this position. Queen's at the back here. She'll have to transfuse a little bit more. Roach is going to be popping out here. Banelings towards the mineral line. Oh, great connection from Scarlett's. Banelings takes down a lot of Banelings of her opponent. iAsonu only has 7 workers left, so Scarlett, she can afford to pull workers into this. She can afford to just pull absolutely everything and try and fight this. She's actually taken a supply lead right now. She's got 3 more roaches on the way. She's still mining in the main base. More lings streaming in from iAsonu. He's got a couple of banes left over as well. Nice transfuse on the ramp to keep a roach alive. Scarlett is starting to take an army supply lead. She just needs to get everything together. Her lings are across the map still. iAsonu has 0 workers left. He's only got this army right now, as you see the drones pulling in to try and do a little bit of damage here. Scarlett knows she can take so much damage. She's got money left over. She can still make roaches, as we see the units from iAsonu starting to drop down. Scarlett is going to end up holding this attack. What a clutch hold as the lings come back home. GG will be called. What a hold by Scarlett.